As we wrap up the deadliest month in the country since the pandemic began, the need to get Americans vaccinated as quickly as possible is growing more urgent. And we'll take a look at President Biden's COVID relief package he is urging Congress to pass.
Thinking of something sweet? Well, coming up, we'll show you what a local vineyard is creating.
Live in high definition from your news leader, this is Jet 24 Action News at 11.
New at 11, 3 people are dead after a fire guts a house in Venango County overnight. According to the Oil City Fire Department, this happened at a house on East Bissell Avenue just before 1 a.m. When crews got to the scene, neighbors told them 3 people were trapped in the house. Crews tried to search for victims while putting out the flames, but couldn't because the house was falling apart. Once the fire was under control, crews found 3 dead bodies. Further information will be released after a full investigation is conducted. The coronavirus pandemic continues to take a deadly toll. More than 90,000 American lives lost just this month. ABC's Faith Abube reports the push to get as many Americans vaccinated as quickly as possible is growing more urgent as new variants of the virus are identified in at least 30 states.
The U.S. is in a race against time to vaccinate Americans as new variants of the coronavirus continue to emerge. At least 434 cases of the UK variant have now been detected in at least 30 states.
I assume at this point that the variant is everywhere across the nation. It'd be really helpful if we were doing ongoing genomic surveillance. That's something we've really got to ramp up.
There are also at least 2 confirmed cases of the P1 variant from Brazil, 1 case of the South African variant now confirmed in Maryland, and another 2 in South Carolina.
We may never know exactly where these folks got it. What we're focused on is preventing further spread.
The U.S. is vaccinating about 1.2 million people a day. So far, only 7 states have vaccinated more than 10% of their populations. Long lines of cars this morning at this vaccination site at Coors Field in Denver. And in Houston, veterans began lining up hours before this VA Medical Center opened its walk-in vaccine clinic. Vaccine supplies are running low in many places, but a third option could soon be available. Johnson & Johnson expected to request emergency use authorization as early as next week.
The data look robust enough that they likely will go ahead with it, which means probably by sometime mid to end February, we start to be getting some doses in.
Unlike Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine, Johnson & Johnson's is a single-dose, one-and-done shot, and it doesn't need to be stored at sub-zero temperatures.
These properties may be useful in a mass vaccination campaign because complexity is the enemy of efficiency.
Johnson & Johnson says trials for its drug show efficacy takes hold in 7 to 10 days. Its 66% overall efficacy is lower than its counterparts, but it's shown it could be up to 100% effective in preventing hospitalizations and death. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Small businesses across the country continue struggling to keep their doors open. ABC's Andrew Dimbert takes a look at President Biden's relief package that he's urging Congress to pass. This includes more help for small businesses.
President Biden now urging Congress to pass his $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
I support passing COVID relief with support from Republicans if we can get it, but the COVID relief has to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
The president's relief package includes $160 billion for vaccinations, more help for small businesses, and another round of direct payments to most Americans for $1,400. But Republicans are not on board. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting, apparently very little is being shown by the Biden administration when it comes to bipartisanship on COVID relief. But the president is warning of the growing cost of inaction.
And economists agree that if there's not more help, many more people will lose their small businesses, the roofs over their heads, and the ability to feed their families.
Small business owners have been struggling.
I've been saying the same thing for almost a year now, which is that we're okay for now, but barely. And I never know how much longer it's going to go.
And it's not just businesses. Millions of Americans are worried about paying their rent and putting food on the table. The Soup Kitchen in New Jersey feeding hundreds of families.
Now there are more working poor, people who have lost their jobs, or not, have not been unemployed before, but are now either unemployed or underemployed.
And in Ohio, the National Guard handing out more than 40,000 pounds of food.
Just a tremendous feeling inside, to see the appreciation from the people. Everybody that comes through is thanking us and just really letting us know that it's really appreciated and that they really need the assistance.
With Democrats holding that narrow control of the Senate, they likely don't need Republican support. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says they are prepared to move ahead without it. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
140 people have died of COVID-19 across the state in the past 24 hours. Here are the latest COVID-19 cases according to the Pennsylvania Department of Health. In Erie County, there were 134 new positive cases, the total since March now reaching 15,437. Crawford County reporting 19 new cases. Warren County is up 38. Ashtabula County reports an increase of 52. There was no update provided for Chautauqua County. Meanwhile, 5,191 cases across the Commonwealth, with a total now over 839,000 cases. 140 more Pennsylvanians have died, with 21,602 total fatalities. The nation's capital remains under high alert nearly 3 weeks after the deadly insurrection. Just this week, 2 men, one armed, were arrested near the U.S. Capitol, and now Capitol Police are not only strengthening security but warning lawmakers to be vigilant. Some lawmakers say they are troubled by looming threats of more violence.
A sense of sadness. I certainly would have hoped that it wouldn't come to having put fencing up all around what is called the Temple of Democracy.
The U.S. Capitol Police are now calling for a permanent fence to replace the temporary one currently surrounding the nation's capital. In the meantime, nearly 5,000 National Guard troops will remain on patrol through March. And coming up on Jet 24 Action News at 11 o'clock, craving something sweet? We'll tell you about one local vineyard that has been busy creating its true winter treat, ice wine. Craig's getting really excited. That's after a first look at the forecast. Craig.
Love me some ice wine, man. Vidal Blanc, good stuff. Hey, we'll have a little light snow and cold enough to make the ice wine. Complete forecast. It's next. Don't go anywhere, okay?
From your news leader, you're watching Brian Wilk, meteorologist Craig Flint, and Mike Fenner with sports. This is Jet 24.